안녕하세요. Hello everybody, my name is Jade Choi. I am the investment manager at Flanders Investment and Trade at the Embassy of Belgium in Seoul. Thank you very much for participating in our demo day today. Just to give you an overview of how the session will be run, we will first have our Trade and Investment Counselor, Wouter Vanhees, give the presentation on Flanders and give you a general idea about what we have to offer and the merits of the Flemish region in relation to life sciences and bio and health and medtech. And then we will have the three companies give their presentations. And at the end of the presentations, we will then ask the presenters up on the stage for a quick Q&A session. And then after that, we will wrap up the session and we will stay behind afterwards in case you have any other questions for us. So without further ado, may I please introduce Mr. Vanhees onto the stage.
Thank you, Jade. All right. Welcome, everyone. Very happy to be here this afternoon to introduce Flanders, the region of Flanders in Belgium, and also the agency that I represent together with Jade, which is called Flanders Investment and Trade. Yeah, very happy to be here at COMEUP Global Startup Festival. I've learned that the theme of this year's edition is innovation beyond borders, and that fits quite well with what we do, what we try to achieve here in Korea and also in other markets and countries actually. Flanders, you will see in the presentation, is a very innovative region, and obviously it's beyond the border as it's in Europe. So we are here to listen to three startups, all related to life sciences, healthcare, medtech, which is one of the focus areas and focus industries in the region of Flanders. Next year we are organizing a roadshow for companies from all over Asia actually to visit the life science industry in Flanders. And the award, the Gateway to Europe Award, is actually the participation, including flight and hotel, for the winning startup to join this roadshow next year. So you can learn all about what Flanders has to offer in terms of life sciences, healthcare, medtech, and see if there's any potential collaboration opportunities for you to use the region of Flanders basically as a hub for the European market. So I will just very, very briefly go over the slides so you have a bit of an idea of what we're actually talking about. So this obviously is a map of Europe. And let's see if the pointer works. Yes, here is Belgium, and the black part, the northern part of Belgium, is the region of Flanders. It's the Dutch-speaking region. So basically we speak the language, the same language as in the Netherlands, our Dutch neighbors. As you can see on the map, it's quite clear. Flanders and Belgium is very centrally located in Europe. As you see there, major European cities, and they're all listed there, are within 2 hours reach from our region. And this is mostly by train, to be honest. So it's very, very centrally located. 41% of our population has a higher education degree. And another fact that proves that we are in the center of Europe is the fact that 60% of Europe's purchasing power is basically in a radius of 500 kilometers around the region of Flanders. So it's really the economic heart of Europe. We are a very open economy. As you can see, we're a very small region, only 6 million people there, so it's, let's say, roughly half of the city of Seoul. So of course we have to be very open and very internationally minded. And you can see that in the numbers. So last year, for example, which is of course the last year for which we have full statistics, our region exported for roughly 430 billion euros, which makes us the 15th biggest exporter globally. Puts us in front of, you know, huge countries like India and Taiwan and many other countries actually. We had almost 5 billion euros of new investments, foreign investments, coming into our region, out of which 25% are R&D related projects. So R&D, innovation, technology is extremely important for us, and that's also one of the reasons why we're here today. The third most innovative economy in the world, so yeah, that says it all, I guess. Why is Flanders the place to be for all companies that are related to healthcare and life sciences and medtech? We're home to basically all late-stage biotech players. So all major pharma companies that are headquartered all over the world, they are, well, not all, but most do have a presence in Flanders in terms of manufacturing and also R&D. We have a very strongly developed logistics network, cold chain automated. So it's very, very important, of course, for the pharmaceutical industry. We put a high focus on automation and digitization or digitalization to reduce costs and risks. All the GMP-compliant manufacturing infrastructures are present, and yeah, we focus a lot on point-of-care manufacturing as well. So these are a few small elements that prove why we're able to host this very extensive and very comprehensive ecosystem of life science companies. About 3.65% of our GDP is invested in R&D, so that makes us actually the front runner on the European level. So again, R&D is hugely, hugely important for our economy. And on the map, this is actually the map of Flanders with the 5 provinces, and the cities that you see there, Bruges, Ghent, Antwerp, Leuven and Hasselt, are the 5 provincial capitals. You see, basically this slide gives an overview, not specifically focused on life science or healthcare, but it gives an overview of the most important research and innovation-related clusters and organizations that we have in our region. So there's a few very important strategic research institutes or centers. The main one for life sciences being VIB, the number 1 here, the Flemish Institute of Biotechnology in the city of Ghent. It's basically related to the University of Ghent, which also has a campus here in Incheon, actually, in Songdo. It's the only European university that has a campus in Korea. So we're very, very proud of that. Yeah, so there's a few more universities here in Antwerp and Leuven, of course, with very extensive and large-scale university hospitals where a lot of research is being done in many different fields of healthcare. What's our ambition? We want to lead emerging market transformations. Personalized medicine, coming to more sophisticated operating models, accelerating drug discovery, again with a very high focus on R&D, and also AI-enabled digital platforms, new business models, so novel partnerships, and doing all of that in a more sustainable and carbon-neutral way. Those are a few key elements in our ambition as a region. And in order to do that, of course, we have those R&D institutes, we have the universities and university hospitals and all of the spin-offs that are working on that. But we also need a lot of startups to help, because a lot of the R&D, a lot of the innovation is being fostered in startups. So, of course, it's very important for us to attract the right startups to our region, basically to complement and to strengthen the ecosystem that we already have, and to, help us realize the ambitions that we have in our region. And of course, that also enables the startups themselves to grow and to join those ecosystems and the ambitions that we have. So this slide gives a little snapshot of the value, the combined enterprise value of all startups, not only the ones related to health, in our region. So last year, that amounted to around 54 billion euros, which might not seem that much, but always keep in mind that Flanders is a very small region. I said it before, 6 million inhabitants. So if you put things into perspective, actually this is quite substantial. What is more important, I think, is the fact that our ecosystem is one of the fastest growing ones in Europe. There are a few that are faster growing. The Baltics, which is, well, basically the same at 2.8 times compared to 2019. We are at 2.7. Portugal is much faster. But then you have to keep in mind, of course, the very central location. If you're in the Baltics or if you're in Portugal, you're really on the outskirts of Europe. In Flanders, you're very close to the economic heart of the continent. VC investments this year, it's projected to go up to 672 million euros, which would be a record. So there you have the overview of the previous years. Well, I think this slide sort of speaks for itself. What is important to know is that everything related to health tech and life sciences in terms of startups is actually the top sector for VC investments in our region. So around almost 500 million euros last year was invested by VCs in health and health tech related startups. And here's a little, split out of what that means exactly. Biotech and pharmaceutical industry was, well, by far the largest segment within the health sector, but also medical devices and digital health platforms, for example, saw quite considerable investments. And who are those top VC players in our region? Well, they're mostly local players. PMV, Cubic Fund, LRM, Capricorn, IMEC Expand, which is a sister organization or daughter organization, better said, of IMEC, which is the world's largest R&D institute on semiconductors. VBio Ventures, which is part of VIB, the Flanders the Flanders Institute of Biotechnology. So this gives a little snapshot of who those major VCs are in our region and who would potentially be partners in your projects, if you would end up doing business in or through the region of Flanders. Then a little word about the organization that Jade and me represent. So it's an organization called Flanders Investment and Trade. Obviously, Flanders, we are a government agency representing the region of Flanders, and we do trade promotion and investment promotion. So you can really consider us as being the Flemish version of COTRA. That sort of sums it up and makes it pretty clear, I suppose. Basically, our mission is to help companies in Flanders to internationalize and to attract sustainable and impactful foreign investors into our region. So who do we work with? Who are the audiences, basically, or our customers even? Companies in Flanders, so the companies that are based in our region and that want to internationalize their business. Foreign buyers who are interested to purchase products or services or technology from companies that are based in Flanders. Foreign investors, so of course companies here in Korea that are looking to expand into the European market. We would love to strike up a conversation with those and see how we can work with them, if Flanders is a compelling proposition for them or not. Startups, of course, the reason for us being here today, and also government and other agencies, because as you saw on one of the slides, we have a lot of R&D institutes, these universities, there's a lot of government components to these types of organizations, and we also try to connect the ones that we have in Flanders, the ones that I shown on the map, with possible partners here in Korea, for example, to see if there are collaborative opportunities to do joint R&D, for example. And in that respect, I think it's very interesting and very important also that South Korea will become a associated country in the Horizon Europe program next year, which would make it much more efficient to get joint funding for joint R&D projects and programs, with partners on both sides of the pond, Korean and European. So of course, also from our region, I already see it. There's a lot of interest from some of our research institutes to look for potential partners here in Korea to, look into potential collaborations for the coming years. We're close to our customers, and we try to be as close as possible to the business opportunities, both for our own companies from Flanders, but also for the companies and startups that are based here in Korea. And in order to do that, we have to be close to the market. So this is our global network of offices. And well, as you see there, we have our Seoul office, which is what we represent. So we're based at the Belgian embassy here in Hanamdong. So always welcome to drop by if you would like to know a little bit more about what we do and how we could support you. Yeah. Not very important, but okay, we're a very small organization, around 150 people back home at headquarters, which is based in Brussels, and almost 180 in all the foreign offices that I showed on the previous slide. That's about it. Kamsahamnida. Thank you very much for listening. And yeah, I'm going to give the mic back to Jade.
Okay, thank you very much, Wouter. I hope that gave you a general overview of the Flanders as a region and as a place where you could expand your business. I was told that the first presenting company would be MEDIFARMSOFT. Is that right? Can I invite... yes.
Hi everybody. I'm very happy. I showed my company MEDIFARMSOFT. My company is a medical device manufacturer, not healthcare device manufacturer. Sometimes people must need to distinguish between the healthcare device and medical device. Medical device require very high level regulation, keeping the law and protect patient information, etc. Next. Yeah. My company is founded 2018. We are continuously develop the medical device and focus only heart signal. You know, is ECG. This is a heart signal checking and analyzing and diagnosis. We have our level. Medical device is not almighty. Medical device must be accuracy, but assist the doctor decision. That is very important. Medical device is very important and accuracy, but assistance to doctors. Now the net capital is 1 billion won. Slightly big capital compared with another small companies. And then we are 21 employees. We are very tiny companies. But we are the focus on developing ECG and now we commercialize our product. Yeah, this is the core competence. This is the same as another venture company and startups competence. But now is without AI, so-called the company is not company. So we assist from the AI because we must analyze so many patient data. Doctor cannot do it. So we must assist analyzing the data. And then This is very important. Without certificate of each countries, we cannot sell the medical device. So we have KFDA and CE, not FDA. Now it's on process. Small company apply to a certificated, for example, CE, FDA. It takes a long time and very big money. So we need investment to get this certificate. Yeah, this is manpower. This is not. This is we are the clinical trial. We finished because we have KFDA and CE. Now we export our product to global countries. For example, Indonesia, Thailand, and Vietnam. Even we have the CE. We up to now we could not sell our material to European country because of small company, startup venture company. So it is not easy to find local partner. To look for local partner, this is our very big hurdle. Yeah, this is our product. This is a portable ECG. What is innovation? ECG is a very sophisticated medical device, but we made ECG very simple, portable, pocketable. This is linked with our mobile phone. After check the data accumulated inside the smartphone, and then doctor can see at the same time through the telemedicine. This is a patch tire holder. Medical device cases continuously data. If possible, how many data? This is very important. So to check heart condition exactly, doctor require continuously heart signal data. So we made patch tire styled holder system. This is a very patient-friendly device. Up to now, almost medical device is a doctor-friendly device. So even doctor prescription, patient hesitated to use that device. But this case is very patient-friendly. So now is hospital get the money, patient also attached this device to supply his own heart signal data during the 1 day, 2, and the maximum 2 weeks. This is another software. This is we are developing the Kai 500 K Vital. This is we check 6 body signals. This is our ECG application. Even each portable patch and another ECG, each ECG device has each application. Which one is high level? This is not meaningless. Each device has each application. Doctor must use for proper application. This is our platform. The platform is very important. Our platform can have ability of analyze the data from the other kinds of brand. That is no matter. Our platform can analyze with another source data. So this is the business level model. Yes, this is our very important things. So now is we are the step by step is the marching to the global market, but we are very small company. We need every step requires the money. The money must be based on an investment from the venture capital or another investor. So now it's the time to get the final investment before IPO within 2 years. So now we requires minimum 2 million to the maximum 5 million only. This is the first and the final fundraising for our companies. This is a very unique cases. We ignore Series A, Series B, no matter. We only fundraising once. And then, why? We have a commercialized device. We can sell with the spot money. So we can survive. But we want to jump up faster before IPO. So we need only small money, 2 to 5 million US dollars. We have a patent and then concerned another certificated. We are ready, and then we can now is selling our materials, but we must hurdle up our hurdles with our potential partners. If we already go to the EU market, now we have no problem. But now we are in the middle of problems. Okay, this is our MEDIFARMSOFT situations. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for the very passionate presentation. Next, we have Foretell My Health. Could I please ask you to give your presentation? Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity for introducing our company. I am Taejin, CEO of Flanders. So our motto, our mission is we foretell and we save our daily lives. So that our problem that we are focusing is that can we detect cancer as early as possible, because that early detection of the cancer will save us mostly. So that we are 2 years of a startup company. So that I have been working in the Samsung Electronics, and my specialty is bioinformatics. And we have emerging and converging, experts. So that our CTO is pharmacology based and majored in the computer science. And we have a clinician in board member and a statistician in board member and a lawyer in our advisory board member. So that we have the converging technology in many fields. So that the conventional liquid biopsy, the limitation is that the early detection is very hard, because the molecule itself from the cancer is very tiny and very little amount. So this is the result of one of the leading company of the grade in the United States, which is from the Illumina, that in clinical trial they are saying that early detection is very hard. So that we have been focusing on another approach, because that it is very limited. Only a tiny number of DNA molecules shedded from the cancer. So that is there any other our body material which is affected a lot from the cancer? So we detect that body material instead of the cancer directly. So the platelet is the thing. So the big data is showing that at the time of diagnosis of cancer, the number of platelets is increasing sharply. And if someone died of cancer, the number of platelets is bounced back. So actually there is a reason. So that the platelet is circulating in our body in every 1 minute. So almost 10% of the platelet actually just passing surrounding cancer microenvironment of cancer, it means that 10% of the platelet is reprogrammed by the cancer. So the cancer is reprogramming the platelet so that the platelet is helping the cancer. So it is helping the cancer survivor and the resistance of the apoptosis and protecting cancer from the immune attack. So all those functionality is provided by the platelet. And doing this functionality, the RNA in platelet is changing a lot. So we detected that RNA change for the early detection of cancer. That is our philosophy. So we fastly built up the highly purity of the platelet purification method, and then we established that protocol in major hospitals, including the Seoul National University Hospital and the National Cancer Center in Korea, and we fastly built up the clinical trial in Korea. So that in ovarian cancer, we focused on firstly because the ovarian cancer is the most life-threatening cancer in women, and it is the most valuable cancer if it is diagnosed in the early stage, saving the life. So that this is our result. For the first of 6 months, we collect and we built algorithm and biomarkers. And the rest of the 1 year, we collect newly collected sample and we evaluate the early detection capability of ours. So that as a consequence, we were able to find every ovarian cancer cases with very high sensitivity. And comparing our result to the grade, the result is showing that not only we detect all cancer type, but also we were able to find the early stage ovarian cancer as well, much better than the grade. So that we bring this solution to the PCR so that we can apply our approach for most Korean women for the scalability, so that we start collaboration with the central lab, one of the most leading central lab in Korea, for the commercialization, and we also confirmed that our PCR biomarker for the early detection of ovarian cancer is working well, including the 100% at the build-up of the PCR in early stage ovarian cancer as well. So we published and we introduced our result in AACR, and we patented every method, so that the clinical utility and the values of the customer which we are going to bring is that making the ovarian cancer detection earlier than it is. So nowadays, ovarian cancer, there is no screening method, but every Korean woman, we have a health checkup system. So if they use our PCR, we can shift our landscape of the ovarian cancer early detection to this 5 times more earlier than it is. And we can save 38% of the ovarian cancer patient more than it is than now. So that is the importance of the changes of clinical utility what we are going to bring, so that we are preparing the era of the paradigm shift. The old cancer screening is one test is for the one cancer, for the radiology. But nowadays, we are shifting the paradigm. One drop of the blood, we can detect multiple cancer. The GRAIL is preparing this market. But our strategy is that we just focus on earlier detection of cancer, and we bring this method to the liquid biopsy world. So that we have global partnership. So our strategy is this: we have limited fund, and we have limited resources, so that we cannot investigate a lot of money for the clinical trial in the United States or in Europe. So we have friends. So I established all the network in Asian country. So our strategy is that we build as many as clinical practice in Asia, which is fast growing and with large population, and we make a number. So we are going to make number that is making sure that we can do the earlier detection of cancer than the great age. So that, and we bring the clinical result into the Europe and for the CE, and we get the CE, and we are going to the West, to the USA. So currently we have, partnership in Switzerland, but we don't have Belgium. So that maybe that we have a chance in the farthest western world of the Europe. So that not only we are focusing on the molecular diagnostics, actually Korea, we have plenty of healthy checkup data. So we have data models, which is the in vitro software diagnostic. So we are in currently FDA surveillance, and we filed the FDA approval in Korea. So that we have a two-step approach. For the medical record, for the complete blood test, we can make the risk of the individual for the testing requirement. So once we get the risk of the patient, and then we ask them to do our PCR. So this is a two-step approach. Currently, we have 5 major hospitals in Korea and 35 doctors in 11 cancer fields. We are ongoing trial with a $5 billion national research fund, so that we are going to bring 11 cancer early detection to the world. So thank you very much for your attention. That the one thing that we are going to bring is that the cancer ribbon, we are going to change the meaning of the cancer ribbon. So original meaning of the cancer ribbon is just cheering up, and I got the sympathy with you to the patient. But now we can make the cancer ribbon as a present to our precious people. So our approach, our product is going to be a shield and a present to our closest family to protect our, most valuable people from the cancer. So thank you very much for your attention.
Yeah, thank you very much for that very interesting presentation. We have the last but not least, LMNTIC Biotech, if I said that correctly. Thank you.
Hello. Hello, I am Sarim, Chief of Strategy at ELEMENTICBIOTECH. We are a lab spin-out from Digis University. We are based on about 10 years of a decade of excellent research, publishing papers such as Nature Communications, and we incorporated in 2022. I want to talk to you about, again, cancer diagnostics. The growing demand for faster, more frequent, and more precise cancer analysis is driving a transition from tissue to liquid biopsy. And so now we are looking at a future where you can diagnose cancer with just blood, you can do it earlier, you can do it more frequently, and you can do a deep level of analysis. And so we are already seeing about 8% penetration into the cancer diagnostics market. Looking at present liquid biopsy solutions, especially when it comes to molecular diagnostics, matching patients to new novel precision drugs, there are some limitations. So if you can see here, there's a bunch of things that you have to look at. So you have to look at protein expression, you have to look at whether you have certain genes or not, and you have to look at, you can look at it at a single gene level, or you can look at it at a multiple gene comprehensive genomic analysis level. And looking at existing solutions, you can see here that some technologies will cover each of these areas, but no technology is able to cover all of them at once. And so this necessitates the combined use of liquid and tissue biopsy with current solutions. And this limitation is quite fundamental. If you're looking at ctDNA technologies, which are looking at fragments of DNA floating in the blood, the technologies are quite proven. They work well. They work well in the clinic, and the clinical value has been proven. However, DNA alone cannot tell the sole story of the cancer. For example, easy thing is that you cannot look at protein expression with DNA. Circulating tumor cells, on the other hand, are an analyte which are fundamentally molecularly equivalent to tissue. And so you can look at everything from DNA to gene expression and whatnot. However, there the problem is currently that the technologies are not mature enough. And I want to go a little bit deeper into that part. So if you want to do a CTC test, if you want to look at circulating tumor cells, you would first draw the blood, you prep the sample, isolate the tumor cells, and then do data genome sequencing and then data interpretation. The front part from blood draw and then the analysis part, quite standardized. You have a lot of solutions that work well. The problem is with the CTC enrichment, and since CTCs are so rare within the blood, it is incredibly difficult to isolate them well from within the sample. And so you have the first enrichment step, which gets rid of most of cancer, most of normal cells, but you still have less than about 5% cancer cells in your sample. So that's where cell isolation, the second step, comes in. You have to use another technology to then isolate the exact cells that you want to look at. And that's where the problem comes in. First, you have the problems of usability, where users are finding it difficult to use it. It lowers the reproducibility. And then also, because each technologies on each side are so different, you have to prove clinically that your system works with the other systems. And that creates a large barrier when it comes to clinical approval and also adoption. And so our technology will combine both of these steps into one single step. And that will allow us to have high usability. It will accelerate the entry into the clinical market. It is a high simplicity solution. And then also because you only have to use one system, we can lower the costs as well. Now, how do we do this? What is different about our technology? Traditionally, you would capture the cells with antibodies maybe, and then use a different single cell isolation step. For us, it is a single step. And so we label the cells with magnetic antibodies and capture them onto our chip. And that step is quite similar to other technologies. We draw them in, we pull them with a magnet. The next step is what is unique to us, and that is where we can manipulate cells at a single cell level using magnetic fields. Now we call this magnetic cell circuits, and so we have analogs to electrical circuits, except we manipulate cells, and we have passive elements which allow for rapid, high throughput, parallel, no touch separation, then also active elements which allow you to pick the exact cells that you want to look at. Here you can see it in action. We have simulation. We have the process from simulation to our end product. Development is complete in that regard. You can see here our simulation results and then microscopy images. Our device and cartridge, we have a prototype, working prototype for each of those components. We're currently working towards a working research use model. Our team is a R&D focused team based on DJ's magnetic life science research and materials engineering. We also have a strong biological analysis team. Where we lack our internal capabilities, we have established a strong cooperation network, including hospitals for clinical testing. We are in the European Liquid Biopsy Society. We have partners for hardware development and clinical advisors, as well as genetic sequencing capabilities as partners. This is our data. If you look at it right now, in 2024, we've already achieved a 50% capture rate and 40% purity. Capture rate is close to equivalent now to competing technologies, and purity is already at about 10x, and that is before the manual intervention, the manual cell picking step. And so the liquid biopsy market is growing rapidly at about 38.5% annually. It is currently sitting at about $14 billion in 2024. Those numbers match quite well with the numbers that we see from public companies. And the specific market that we are trying to enter will be after the patient gets diagnosed with cancer. And that is because we want to enter a market where the clinical trial requirements are a little bit lower, but also where there's a strong need for more advanced analysis. So we don't want to just give a yes or no, you have cancer. We want to go deeper. We want to analyze what kind of drugs would be best for you. And so we will sell our product as both a service and instruments. Services is where we take blood samples, we isolate them, we sequence them and give back the results. And then instruments will be based on our main hardware and our cartridges, where most of the revenue, most of the profit will be from repeatable cartridge sales. And so my main customers for researchers will be, for the research use products, will be researchers as well as clinicians who want to do research. And then for a clinical hardware, our main customers will be clinical laboratory service providers. And so we'll first start with our RUO, research use only services in 2025, and then go towards hardware sales in research use only in 2026 after we enable mass production of our instruments. And then in 2028, enter the clinical market. And so we will work on both product, evidence, and legal at the same time to make a streamlined entry into clinical approval, starting with the KFDA, with the Korean FDA, 2026 to 2028, and then entering the FDA, the American market, late 2028. And then IVDR in the EU after that. While we're generating data, the majority of our clinical evidence we expect to be generating within Europe because we have strong research networks and collaboration capacities within there. And so it is our goal to create a world where tissue biopsies are no longer necessary. We'll start by replacing areas where tissue biopsy can't touch it at all, so where patients have cancers which are difficult to biopsy. We will expand our capabilities to be able to replace tissue biopsy, and then we aim to fully replace it and go beyond it even further past 2030. We have secured our initial LOIs, purchase intents from our early customers who will be willing to use our research use service. And we're starting to generate revenue 2025 with a goal of $30 million in revenue by 2028, with just research use only services, and then going to the clinical market past 2029, tripling our revenue rapidly. And so right now we're looking for a pre-A fund of about $350,000. We will be using it mostly to create the infrastructure so we can manufacture our devices, develop them in-house instead of relying on university systems, and then starting to get ready for our clinical and regulatory journey, especially hiring experts, acquiring clinical partners, and implementing quality management systems. Also, a sales infrastructure, unifying our office, exhibition conferences will be one of the things that we will use that money for. And going beyond that, because we have the world's best single-cell manipulation platform, we intend to expand our market to these various areas, adipocyte isolation, sepsis diagnosis, cell-to-cell interaction, etc. 90% of cancer deaths are due to metastasis. We isolate as ground cause. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for that very interesting presentation. Again, thank you to all the three presenters. Now, could we ask you to return to the stage for a brief Q&A?
Okay. Well, first and foremost, I would like to thank all three of you for your very interesting and very inspiring presentations. It was fantastic to hear, the research and the innovation that you've already accomplished, and that you're still, building up towards bigger goals, basically. And of course, side note, I would love our region and our research capabilities to somehow be a part of building that dream, basically, of your companies. This is a Q&A round, but to be very honest, I have one question for each of you, so you can just take turns in responding. You've all alluded to Europe and the EU and CE, for example, in your presentations. Of course, this is the Gateway to Europe pitching session. So very clearly, for our understanding, I would like to ask you, let's say if you win this award, I said in the beginning, in the opening remarks, the award is actually, the fact that you would be able to participate in a health tech roadshow that we organize in May next year, May 2025, where you will basically, in a 2-3 day program, visit most, if not all, of the relevant R&D institutes, accelerators and incubators, university hospitals, everything that's relevant for our very strong life science industry in the region of Flanders. So in that 3-day program, you will visit most of these places, meet the people, go to one of the major conferences that we have also. So basically, it's really a good chance for you to get to know the ecosystem that we have and to see whether there are collaborations, maybe in the field of sales and marketing, maybe in the field of research or clinical trials or whatever it may be, because it's all there. Basically, all these opportunities are there. So I would like to understand from you, if you would win this award, in your specific case, what would you, for your company, hope to get out of joining that roadshow in the short term, and also what do you hope to achieve on the European market on the longer term? Thank you.
Yes, MEDIFARMSOFT case is very simple. We already got the CE approval. Right now, immediately we can enter the EU market, but we miss one piece. We have no local partners. If we have local partners, we can sell day by day. We can guarantee our R&D ability and our devices levels. We have ability of develop device continuously to satisfy EU market, patient, doctors, and hospitals. We have a CE certificate. Yeah, thank you.
네. Thank you for the questions. For me, so I think I feel it's just slow stepping. So that this year actually, I had the opportunity to go to the Switzerland, and I met a lot of investigators in there, because Cotra supported me to meet many European investigators. And then actually University of Basel, they introduced me the research network. So what I realized is that even though I do have right now the solution, it will take a long time to commercialize and to sell it. But what I learned is that the research network is the first step, and the trustship is the first step. So maybe the networking. So I meet the vendors and the researchers in Belgium, and I meet the medical doctors, so that we establish the long-term research partnership. That is the first way of the trust. And then we are going to bring our solution for the clinical trial. So we have a plan. So we have a mixed population clinical trial plan, so that we are starting the clinical trial in Vietnam and India. And with the mixture of a European population, we are going to start for the CE approval. So that is a plan. But maybe the opportunity, if I can take it, maybe establishing the long-term networking relationship is the thing. And then maybe I can be a help. So I have an experience in the Samsung Electronics. So we have a long sales partnership in many European subsidiaries and branches, so that maybe we can make a network for facilitate our approach. And maybe the startups in Belgium, we can take the chance introducing their technology in Korea, so that I can be a bridge for the partnership with both of the countries. So that's the thing that I want. Thank you.
For LMNTIC, Europe within the liquid biopsy field really is the center of the world when it comes to collaborative translational research within the field. And so we already are members of the European Liquid Biopsy Society. We're trying to find partners to do our clinical trials in there. And for us, what Europe will be in our commercialization journey will, of course, in the end, will be a point of where we sell our products. But before that, clinically will be where we will generate the bulk of our clinical data. And so we are looking for partners that will be able to do that kind of research with us. We are also looking for people who will be able to fund our entry into the European market for that purpose. And so trying to find collaborative research, such research networks that will then later transition into paying customers, and that will be the main goal for us. And we have already established a headquarters in Ireland for that purpose, and so we're quite ready to go.
All right. Well, thank you very much for your very clear answers to my question. As I said, I only have one question, to be honest, so it's a very short Q&A session. Yeah, we don't want to go overtime too much. It's already a little bit overtime, but okay. So yeah, thank you once more for your very interesting pitches and presentations, for responding to the questions. Sorry for putting you on the spot, but of course for us it's relevant to know, like, okay, if you go to Europe, like, what do you want to achieve there? That's of course the main element, right? So yeah, again, thank you very much. Tomorrow is the award ceremony. It's at 5 p.m. if I'm not mistaken, at stage 2, which is across the hall, sort of. So of course, hope you all will be there. Yeah, let's see who wins the award, the Europe to Gateway Award then. All right, well, let's wrap up here. Thank you so much for joining us, for accepting the invitation to pitch, and look forward to seeing you again tomorrow. All right, thank you.
Thank you.